My wife left a note, don't look for me. I need freedom. So I didn't. I filed for divorce, froze the accounts, and went on vacation. 3 days later, she was waiting outside my lawyer's office in tears. Part 1. I, a 38-year-old male, saw her note sitting on the polished granite of our kitchen island, weighted down by her house key, not the front door key, but the specific one for the back door, the one she always used. A small, deliberate detail. It was 4 sentences long, written in her neat, looping cursive that always looked so at odds with her personality. I need to be on my own for a while. This isn't working for me anymore. I need freedom. Don't look for me. No, I'm sorry. No, I love you. Just a clinical statement of departure. For a moment, I did nothing. I just stood there in the silent kitchen, the scent of the coffee she'd made before she left still hanging in the air. I looked around at the life we had built, the custom-tiled backsplash we'd argued over for weeks, the ridiculously expensive Scandinavian armchair in the corner that was supposed to be her reading chair, though she mostly just threw her coat on it. It all felt like a stage set for a play that had just abruptly ended. There was no screaming, no throwing things. The grief was there, a cold, heavy stone in my gut, but it was accompanied by something else, a strange, unnerving calm. Lauren had always been the impulsive one, the one prone to dramatic gestures and pronouncements. In her grand gesture, she'd forgotten the fundamental difference between us. She makes scenes, and I make plans. I picked up my phone. My first call was not to her mother, her best friend, or any of our mutual acquaintances. It was to a man named Walter Chen, the most ruthless divorce attorney I could find on short notice with a 5-star Google rating. He specialized in complex asset division. I booked an appointment for the following Monday. My second call was to my bank. I explained that my debit card had been compromised, a small lie, but effective. They immediately put a temporary freeze on our joint checking and savings accounts pending my in-person visit to sort it out. I had a separate personal account she didn't know about, my what-if fund. It wasn't much, but it was enough. My third action was to go to my closet. Her side was half empty. She'd taken her favorite things, the expensive pieces, but she had left behind the dress she wore on our first date and all the framed photos of us on her nightstand. More telling, she'd left her muddy Adidas sneakers, the ones she wore for her weekend runs, right in the middle of the new rug I had just bought, a final thoughtless act of disrespect. I had 2 weeks of vacation time approved. I'd planned a solo hiking trip for months, something Lauren had called boring and refused to join. I packed a bag, grabbed my hiking boots, and placed her note in the top drawer of my desk. I took one last look around the house. The silence no longer felt like a void but like an opportunity. Then I walked out, locked the front door, and went on my vacation. I didn't look for her. She asked for freedom. I was giving it to her, with footnotes and legal counsel. Update: the mountain air was clean and sharp. For 3 days, I hiked until my legs ached and my lungs burned. I didn't check my phone much. There were a few frantic texts from her friends, then a string of increasingly panicked ones from Lauren herself. They went from indignant, "Are you seriously ignoring me?" to confused, "Why isn't my card working?" I read them, felt a flicker of something, not guilt, but a sad confirmation, and then put the phone away. I drove back Monday morning, showered at a truck stop, and put on the suit I'd packed. I felt more clear-headed than I had in years. When I pulled up to Walter Chen's law office, a discreet modern building in a quiet part of town, I saw her, Lauren. She was sitting on the low brick wall that bordered the manicured landscaping, her head in her hands. She was wearing the same clothes she'd had on in her last Instagram post from 2 days ago, a post I glanced at with morbid curiosity, caption finally free, featuring a clinking cocktail glass and an unseen companion. The chic freedom seeker from the photo was gone. Today, she looked frayed, her hair was a mess, her eyes were red and swollen, and there were tear tracks cutting through her foundation. She saw my car and shot to her feet. "Nathan." I got out of the car and looked at her. I didn't say a word. "Nathan, what the hell is going on?" she demanded, her voice cracking. My card was declined at a hotel. It was so humiliating. And the joint savings, it's frozen. I tried to call the bank, and they said, "You reported a security breach." "What is that?" I adjusted my tie. "It's a security breach, Lauren. Our financial security has been breached." Her face, a mask of tearful confusion, hardened. "That's not funny. This is our money. I needed that money. I had plans." "I'm sure you did," I said, my voice even. I started walking toward the office door. She scurried to keep up, her tone shifting from anger to a kind of desperate pleading. "Okay, look, maybe I should have talked to you," she said, grabbing my arm. I stopped and looked down at her hand until she let go. But I was suffocating. I needed space, a break. That's all this was. A little break to clear my head. "And I come back to this? You hired a lawyer?" I saw the email confirmation on the tablet. "A divorce lawyer? Nathan, are you insane?" This was the moment that crystallized everything. She hadn't left me, she had just put me on pause, expecting me to wait patiently in the wings until she decided she was done with her break. The sheer, blinding entitlement of it was almost impressive. "You left a note, Lauren," I said, my voice dangerously soft. "It said, 'Don't look for me.' It didn't say, 'I'll be back on Monday, please have the accounts liquid and my laundry done.' You wanted freedom, I'm just formalizing it." "Formalizing it?" she shrieked, tears starting anew. "You can't just divorce me. We have to talk about it. We have to go to therapy. You don't just blow up our life." "You detonated the bomb, Lauren," I replied, turning my back to her. "I'm just picking through the rubble." I opened the heavy glass door to the law firm. The last thing I heard as it swished shut behind me was her sobbing my name, a question laced with a dawning, horrified understanding. Update: a week of blessed silence was broken by a phone call from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. The message was from a man. His voice was smooth, confident, the kind of voice that's used to getting its way. "Nathan, this is Kyle. Listen, I think we got off on the wrong foot here. Lauren is obviously very upset, and you're not being rational. Why don't you and I have a man-to-man chat and figure this out? Give me a call." Kyle. I knew the name. He was a senior manager from her marketing department, the one she'd laughed with a little too long at the company Christmas party, the one whose name had popped up in late-night texts I pretended not to see. I didn't call him back. Instead, I forwarded the voicemail audio file to Walter Chen with the subject line "For your file." The next evening, they appeared at my door. I saw them through the peephole, Lauren, standing slightly behind Kyle, who had his hand possessively on her lower back. He looked exactly as I'd pictured, expensive haircut, smug expression, wearing a jacket that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. He rang the doorbell with a sharp, impatient jab. I opened the door a few inches, leaving the security chain on. Yes? Kyle's smile was pure condescension. Nathan, good. We need to talk. I'm talking to my lawyer, I said. You should have Lauren talk to hers. Now see, that's the kind of attitude that's making this so difficult, he said, trying to lean into the doorway. The chain held. Lauren is willing to be reasonable. She's willing to come home to let you calm down, and we can all sort this out like adults. We? I asked, looking past him at Lauren, who refused to meet my eyes. There is no we. There's you and there's me, and she made her choice. Lauren finally spoke, her voice thin. Nathan, please. He's just trying to help. This has all been a huge misunderstanding. Just let me in so I can get my things. Your things will be handled by our attorneys, I said flatly. Then I looked her in the eye. Besides, the key you left wouldn't have worked anyway. Her brow furrowed in confusion. What are you talking about? The locks were changed the morning I left for my trip, I said. You vacated the property. You have no legal right to be here. You can click on share more to see if there is a part 2.